We start our journey at the foot of Mount Kenya in Chogoria. Our journey takes us up the mountain as we pierce through the thick fog, determined to locate the source of the rivers in the region. I am at more than 3,000 meters above sea level on Mount Kenya, the source of many rivers serving THARAKA County and beyond. Our guide Stella Njeri has been climbing the mountain for the last 20 years and is quite familiar with the changes in this mountain.
We don't have the main, the permanent snows that we had in Mount Kenya 15 years ago. This section of the forest is fast regenerating after fire consumed thousands of acres of the moorland in February 2019. Moorland plays a critical role in the collection of water during rain season and acts as a natural reservoir which keeps the rivers flowing, especially during the dry seasons. Descending the mountain at about 6,000 feet above sea level, we penetrate deep into this thick forest and came across River Mara, a key river that serves THARAKA County. The volume of water in this river is good, though it has experienced a slight drop in water levels, according to our guide. But as you get to the edge of Mount Kenya forest, communities have encroached the area. The river bend that was part of the river is now an arrowroot farm, an indication of a declining river.
Ile kitu ingehitajika hapa ni Walma washughulike, wajue mtu aliapply maji kiasi gani na amechukua gani. Ile inabaki irudi kwa mto ifikie wale wako chini.
Going down to Ishiara in Embu County, we find the famous river Dhochi. Water level in the river have gone down drastically thanks to over-obstruction. 4 major water intakes are found here, all of them in a distance of 1 kilometer. A reality we are informed is against the law as it amounts to obstruction.
Zimejengwa karibu na vile sheria inasema zile ambazo ziko karibu sana, intake ile inaweza kuwa karibu sana ni kilomita 4 kutoka kwa ile ingine.
People have chosen to ignore the law and do what they want. My word to them is that there is no one who is above the law.
Water Resource Authority is supposed to give you the quantities and regulate the quantities of water that you are allowed to obstruct. Unfortunately, there is no such regulation being done, so you have people fixing pipes as big 12 inches, 17-inch pipes.
Further downstream, it is totally dried up, leaving residents with no option but to search for water long distances away.
Tunatumia masaa kama 3 kwenda huko na kurudi. Hiyo maji yetu ya mto imekauka kabisa, hata kupika ni shida.
Huku saa huko ngambo huyo mama anasema tinavuka kukuja huku na zingine zetu tunaenda huko. Huku yenyewe sio mbuzi, huku wanavuka kwa sababu hakuna maji.
Dosi imekauka kiwango ya kwamba nyoka hawezi pata maji kwa mto, wanaenda kwa manyumba ya watu kutafuta maji. Kila mnyama unajua anategea maji.
From there we move to River Dingi, though in THARAKA constituency. It is a rocky situation here. Years back, it was not possible to stand here during the dry season, but now the sound of the river has been silenced by human activity. This is what remains of a massive waterfall in river that serves thousands of people from Meru and THARAKA counties. The hope that residents have here is the water gushing forth from this rock at the banks of the dead river.
Nakuja hapa kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, hata wakati mwingine wakati wanatoka hapa saa 3 usiku sababu ya vile wanang'ang'ania ile maji kidogo inatoka.
Hii ni ya kuenda kupeleka nyumbani, ya kuosha nguo, ya kunywa maji. Sasa nitaenda kutafuta kwingine.
Mutambo is coming down to THARAKA, and the people of THARAKA who are living downstream, they'll get water.
Some have traveled more than 30 kilometers to access this precious commodity.
Niko na wiki bila kuoga. Nitaoga na nini na hakuna maji?
Our efforts to speak to top leaders from THARAKA County bore no fruit, with the locals accusing them
of being behind the water obstruction claims. We proceed to Meru National Park that is home to the Big Five. Our mission is to find out the state of the rivers here. The situation is not different from that of THARAKA County. 12 out of 14 rivers that once watered the park have dried up, leaving wildlife with only 2 rivers whose waters are quickly receding.
The community neighboring the park, especially on the western boundary, have a lot to do with what we are facing as a harsh reality, that most of the rivers are no longer flowing into the park.
The management of the park was forced to share water from River Mulika, whose source is inside the park, with River Boderongi in order to distribute it and cover a wider range to save the wildlife. Downstream of River Boderongi, this dam is now the hope for these hippos and crocodiles.
Our wildlife behaves within the park to an extent. As we speak, the last 2-3 days we've had rampaging elephants moving into Kadidi or Kadidine within Ura, Kisimani, as well as Dangada outside the park. And for the simple reason, the elephant is looking for water.
Kakungu swamp that is few meters from the park has been turned into a grazing zone, with farming having taken center stage. Generators are being used to pump water from the swamp for irrigation. The result is drying up this river that is supposed to be a lifeline for wildlife in Meru National Park and beyond. Murera town at the entrance of the park is thirsty, a dry place that has not seen water for a long time, a clear indication of how tough things have become here. This borehole that uses solar power is almost dry, and residents can only get water when the sun shines.
Ile tulipatia kura hakuna hata moja na kanyanga kwetu haone sisi. Sasa ni sisi takaa kama manuku ya mistuni. Aya huko park ndio anasaidia sisi hata na maji. Saa 5 usiku tunaenda kuchota maji. Nyati iko mbele.
Pia Uhuru atusaidie. Sisi tunateseka na maji, tukinapigia Kiraito kura, yeye anakuja anatuambia ati nitawaletea maji. Tunampigia kura ya nini?
The park shares the little water it has with a few locals who queue here from 6 p.m. to get the precious commodity. For now, residents of this place and wildlife at the Meru National Park will continue to suffer until help comes their way. Jan Kaburu, K24 at Meru National Park in Meru County.